After a strong start that included commitments from world leaders on reducing carbon emissions, delegates from nearly 200 countries sat down Tuesday to work on reaching a deal to do more to curb global warming. Before departing the summit, President Obama said action on climate change is an economic and security imperative. VOA Europe correspondent Luis Ramirez reports from the site of the 12-day conference in a suburb of Paris, where talks Tuesday centered largely on Africa's environmental problems.
For years, the levels of Lake Chad have been dropping at an alarming rate. More recently, the lake's receding shores have also been witness to another calamity, the terror unleashed by the Boko Haram militant group. At the climate summit, along with pledging billions of dollars for green energy projects, France said action is needed to ease the suffering of those who live along the shores of Lake Chad.
We know they have an environmental crisis on top of a security crisis due to the actions of Boko Haram in this region.
African leaders say the need to act and save Lake Chad is urgent.
La profondeur du lac, qui était de 5 mètres, est revenue aujourd'hui autour de 1 mètre.
It used to be 5 meters deep and now is only 1 meter to 1.5 meters deep. So it is an absolute catastrophe, the catastrophe of the century, and humanity must do something about it.
For African leaders, it is important to come away from the meeting with not just words, and they warned against donor nations not honoring pledges for assistance.
COP21 is critical for all humanity because climate change affects all of us, rich and poor, large and small countries, and all regions of the world. But there is no greater evidence of the impact of environmental degradation and climate change.
President Obama called for at least some parts of any agreement that emerges to be legally binding. The world's security, he believes, depends on acting decisively to slow down global warming.
This is an economic and security imperative that we have to tackle now.
This is the largest ever gathering of world leaders, with the summit taking place less than 3 weeks after France suffered terrorist attacks that killed 130 people, the worst violence on its soil since the Second World War. The issue of security hangs heavily over the discussions. Luis Ramirez, VOA News, Paris.